national and international awards from the University of Sri Jagadhanapura, Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, and Springer International. He is also the recipient of numerous research grants from the several organizations, including World Bank, the University of Sri Jagadhanapura, the National Science Foundation, Clipit, Asia Institute, Australia, CIM UK, and the University Saskatchewan, Canada. Now, I cordially invite Dr. Gunaratna to deliver the keynote speech. Thank you.
Good morning. We were active Vice Chancellor, Deans of the faculties, conference chairs, academic staff members, non-academic staff members, and distinguished invitees. As we speak on resilience and resistance and sustainability, I don't find a better example. I can't think of a better example than this very historical city of Anuradhapura and its hydraulic civilization. So this is a system that has lasted for thousands of years, showing ample examples of resilience, resistance, and sustainability, even without digital transformation. So ladies and gentlemen, before I venture on my speech, let me present you my views on resilience, resistance, and sustainability. Well, during pandemic, everyone spoke of resilience, which is the ability to weather storms and adapt to challenges and bounce back from setbacks. So during a resilience, during pandemic, during a crisis, resilience is essential for you to survive. But when you look at the unprecedented challenges and the changes that are taking place, crisis after crisis, whether it's a political crisis, whether it's the economic crisis, whether it's the foreign exchange crisis, we need something that goes beyond resilience. That's why we need resistance. Resistance is the ability to steer the ship and charter a new course of actions and set a new direction, so that the resilience enables you to thrive and to be a winner. So that's why we need to move from resistance to resilience. Then sustainability. We all know that sustainability is the concept that encompasses three perspectives: economic perspective, social perspective, and environmental perspective. And that's what we call the 3 Ps in sustainability. So usually it's shown as a 3-legged chair, where you need to have a delicate and intricate balance between these 3 legs. If one leg is shorter, if one leg is longer, the system will collapse. So ladies and gentlemen, in my keynote speech, I'll be following more of a pragmatic approach with practical examples than grounding my speech on pure theory. Well, we happen to think that these concepts, resilience, resistance, or sustainability, are novel concepts. Especially the concept of sustainable development was popularized after 1987, the Brundtland Report on Sustainable Development. But we all know that King Parakramabahu once said,
not a single drop of water
should go to the sea without serving
the world.
He specifically used the term the world. He didn't say it should serve the human.
So
that his thinking was beyond humans and non-humans, living beings and non-living beings.
Then
we know King Datuseno's wealth
was
Kalaweber. So these examples embody that these ancient leaders had the thinking of sustainability and integrated thinking. And they focused on agricultural production, which is the economic perspective. and they focused on conserving biodiversity, conserving soil, conserving water, which is the environmental perspective. And they also thought of the well-being of the citizens or the society, which is the social
So that if
perspective.
you look at the ancient hydraulic
So that if you
civilization
look at
of this
the
country,
ancient hydraulic civilization of this country, which embodies,
provides a perfect example of
which
resilience,
provides a
resistance,
perfect
and
example of
sustainability.
resilience,
So they
resistance,
built
and
huge tanks,
sustainability.
a
So
network
they
of
built huge
intricate
tanks,
or
a
cascade
network of
system, which is
intricate
called the
or
Lanka system,
cascade system, which
to
we call the Lanka
withstand
system,
the adverse climate
to
events.
withstand the
Not only
adverse
that,
climate
they were
events.
able to build a
Not only
city
that,
that
they were
thrived
able to
for more
build
than
a
thousands of
city
years.
that thrived for
So
more
that,
than
that's how
thousands of
they
years.
showed
So that's how
persistence,
they showed
going
persistence,
beyond
going
resilience
beyond resilience
to chart
to
a
charter
new
a new form of
direction
direction
for a
for a
civilization.
civilization.
And what's
And what's
important is
important
that
is
these
that these
systems
systems
continue to
continue to
serve
serve
humans,
humans,
animals, and
animals,
the
and the
ecosystem
ecosystem
even after
even after
2000 years
2000 years
of their
of their
establishment.
establishment. You
Find
don't
any
find
other
any other
example,
example, living example
of
of this
nature
nature
that
that
provides
provides
services to
services to
humans,
humans,
the
the
society,
society,
and to the environment. Say
and to
it's
the environment. Say
pyramids
it's
of Giza,
pyramids of Giza,
say it's
say it's
the
the
statues of
statues
East
of East
Island.
Island.
They don't
They don't
serve
serve
the
the very
very purpose
purpose
that they
that
were
they were
built
built
on
on
like
like
this.
this.
So
So that
that
is
is
why
why I
I
don't
don't
find
find
any
any
other
other
better
better
living
living
example
example
than
than
this
this the
historic
historic
cities
cities
and
and
the
the
hydraulic
hydraulic
civilization
civilization that we can even still that we can still see today. Well, even after 2000 years later, we talk about business sustainability or business sustainability strategies in the same line of thinking. So we find companies engaged in sustainability strategies to conserve water, conserve other resources, and to take actions for climate change mitigation or adaptation, then again conserving biodiversity, and then sustainable sourcing, employee and social well-being. And the vital question we have is that whether there is a business case for sustainability, which is important for the business point of view. Whether there's a business case, is there any economic rationale for being sustainable? Well, 20 years back, Salteger and Sedesky in 2002 mentioned that there can be two views, two possible views about the relationship between business case or the economic success and social and the environmental performance. And one view they advocated was a negative gains view. That means that even today, this is a view that is held by many of these corporate leaders and even the practitioners. They think that by being sustainable, by being environmental friendly and socially responsible, you will have to incur additional cost, and that will drive down your profitability. And that's why you see a negative gains view. But at the same time, many researchers, many case studies, many companies have shown that there is a positive relationship as well. Positive relationship is also possible. So that you can be economically successful, at the same time, you can be sustainable. And that is what we call the positive gains view. At the same time, there is a possibility to shift this production possibility frontier to achieve greater heights. That is, by building resistance, you can go for greater possibilities, which requires digital transformation and sustainability innovation. Then the question is, why many companies not go for this desired relationship? You can be more profitable, you can be more sustainable, but why companies don't go for this desired relationship? That is because many companies miss the M in corporate sustainability. They miss this M in corporate sustainability. Because corporate sustainability has to be managed. So that's why we call it corporate sustainability management. Like any other strategy, sustainability strategy has to be planned. It has to be executed. You have to make decisions. You have to take corrective actions. You have to control, and you have to evaluate the performance. That's why we have corporate sustainability management. Well, when you move for corporate sustainability, that requires operationalization. You need to put that into practice. And that's where you need information. And as accounting as the language of business provides this valuable information for the corporate decision makers. Sustainability accounting is the collection, identification, collection, analysis, and the use and also the reporting of two types of information: physical as well as monetary information for different stakeholders. So that's why you have two types of sustainability management accounting system: physical sustainability management accounting, where you account in terms of kilograms, liters, meters, and even in the case of biodiversity, it could be the number of species or the flora types in your plantation.
Then you have the monetary type of
Then you have the monetary type of sustainability management accounting. And with this, we actually broaden the scope of accounting to encompass physical as well as monetary values of accounting. Well, an organization would go for solar panel installation as a part of their renewable energy strategy. So once these systems are installed, the corporate decision makers would like to know whether this is giving you the expected benefits, whether there is the expected payback. So that's where they will calculate, that's where they will record and identify the energy savings from these different solar panels. So this is the physical information. So once you collect this physical information, you can identify the energy cost saved or the revenue from the CEB, depending on off-grid or on-grid system you have. So once you have this information, you can go for payback calculations. You can incorporate this information for budgeting. You can use this information for various performance evaluation matrices. Well, this is how corporate leaders or the corporates in this country report on physical as well as monetary information. So these are the extracts of the latest annual report of JKH, where they report on the energy consumption, then greenhouse gas emissions, water withdrawals, and waste management in terms of physical as well as monetary information. Well, as I mentioned, your sustainability journey, your sustainability strategy is a journey. It's an evolution. So that it takes an evolutionary pathway. It's an evolutionary pathway from reactive, preventive, and to proactive stages. Initially, organizations will be reactive. They will react to the regulatory changes, stakeholder expectations, or head office influence. But over the years, they will build their resilience, and over the years, they will go for resistance to be proactive, to build a whole set of competitive advantage on corporate sustainability. That requires certain critical success factors like top management support, supportive corporate culture, then supply chain integration, as well as the use of digital tools, so that these corporate sustainability managers or the leaders have a host of digital tools which will support your supply chain integration and resource efficiency and decision making. So that we have a host of tools like IoT, blockchain, AI, then big data analytics, and so forth. According to Conua website, these are the top 7 applications of IoT for environmental sustainability. Number 1 is energy smart management systems. So I'm sure that even in this hall or in any other lecture hall, you would have felt that temperature is either too high or low. But if IoT sensors are used, the temperature would be regulated based on the occupancy, the climatic conditions, then again based on other factors, so that you will be able to save energy. At the same time, you will be able to become more environmental friendly through these digital technologies and the tools. Well, once you integrate sustainability and digital transformation, there will be a host of benefits which you will witness in the fronts of economic, social, and environmental fronts. In the economic front, you will see that cost savings, greater efficiency, and minimization of waste. In the ecological front, you will see the supply chain integration to reduce your environmental footprint. And then on the social front, you will see the possibilities to reach broader markets and to connect with socially responsible set of customers on a global scale. For instance, very recently, bookings.com has initiated travel sustainable program because they have realized that more than 75% of the customers would be more responsible in their traveling in the future. So that they have introduced this travel sustainable program. Even I remember when I was searching for a hotel in the city of Anuradhapura, I was looking for the energy rating or the sustainability rating of the properties. But that doesn't mean that every consumer will be paying a higher price for your sustainability strategies. And that's why you need to use digital transformation to reduce your cost and to reduce your environmental footprint. Well, with that, I think my time is up. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the Vice Chancellor very correctly mentioned, sustainability is a journey for individuals. Sustainability and digital transformation, resilience and resistance. It's a journey for every corporate. It's a journey for every society. It's a journey for every country. So that it's a journey with a lot of adventure and potential. So that it's sometimes a journey that teaches you a lot about your destination. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Dr. Nuan Gunaratna, for sharing such an immense message to the audience. Yes, sustainability is individual and it is really necessary for each and every individual in the society, especially in this economic crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving to watch a video about the sponsors of IRSM 2023.
මගේ නම කවිදිනී කරුෂිකා මගේ පාසල කොළඹ සිරිමාව බණ්ඩාරනායක විද්‍යාලය මම 2022 වර්ෂයේ අපසුසස් පෙළ විභාගයේ වාණිජංශයෙන් දිවයිනේ ප්‍රථමයාවෙන්න සමත් වුණා. ඉතින් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් ශ්‍රී ලංකා වරලක් ගණකාධිකරණ ආයතනය විසින් මට ශිෂ්‍යත්වයක් ප්‍රදානය කරනු ලැබුවා. ඒ වෙනුවෙන් ඒ ආයතනයේ සියලුම දෙනාට ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙන්න මම කැමතියි. ඉතින් අපසුසස් පෙළ විභාගයේ හදාරන අවුරුදු දෙක තුලදී මම ඒ වෙනුවෙන්ම අවධානය යොමු කරමින් මගේ අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු කරගෙන ගියා. විභාගයෙන් පසුව ප්‍රතිඵල එන්න කලින් මම ඇප්ටිටියුඩ් ටෙස්ට් එකට සහභාගී වෙලා ඒකෙන් සමත් වෙලා ශ්‍රී ලංකා වරලක් ගණකාධිකරණ ආයතනයේ ක්‍රියාපදිංචිය ලබා ගන්න සමත් වුණා. ඉතින් මගේ වරලක් ගණකාධිකාරීවරියක වීමේ සිහිනය සැබෑ කර ගැනීමට මට මේ ලැබිච්ච ශිෂ්‍යත්වය උපකාරී කර ගැනීමට මම කටයුතු කරනවා. ඒ වෙනුවෙන් නැවත වතාවක් මම මෙම ආයතනයේ සියලුම දෙනාට ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙන්න කැමතියි.
Sri Lanka, enriched with exceptional natural beauty, from its magnificent beaches, its tropical forests and majestic mountains. A huge array of species and rich diversity of cultural histories. People seeking fresh perspectives from all around the planet have traveled to the magical and beautiful island over the years. This tiny island nation is situated in the heart of the Indian Ocean in a mild climate. Even though the country is small in size, it was one of the huge landmarks as a major shipping route in Asian civilization. Throughout the history, this island has been referred to by many names: Taprobane, Saranti, the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. The indigenous management approaches of the country have become a central attraction. The historical evidences, such as the tanks or reservoirs that nurture all living creatures for several decades, the gaps and places that were built from the bottom of the grounds to touch the celestial horizon are ample testimony that wisdom possessed by the ancient Sinhalese. The ancient management practices, the technical abilities, and the knowledge of establishing kind stupas, inventing sophisticated ways to manage natural resources are solid evidences that even the extensive knowledge systems and sophisticated calculations have existed in the past. The methods of analysis used for establishing the Gantt structures are the foundation of Oriental research techniques that we witness today. Anuradhapura and Mihintale are among the best examples of all other historical places in Sri Lanka, which depicts the symbol of the know-how of ancient civilizations. For over thousands of years, Mihintale has been an important site. It is where the presence of Buddhism in Sri Lanka was inaugurated. This site is environmentally enchanting, spiritually enlightening, and culturally immensely significant, as our culture originated from here. This and the internationally attended sophisticated learning center at Mahavihara testify that knowledge dissemination, research and debating are not new to Rajarata. In the ancient world, knowledge values and practices are received, perceived, and transmitted as orally from one generation to another. The way that people communicate with others has changed drastically over time. At the present, digital communication is a prominent form of communication which is used to ensure knowledge dissemination in education. The Rajarata University of Sri Lanka is located overlooking majestically behind the Mihintale rock, where the new knowledge is produced through the practices of research. The current digital technologies have opened the door to a much broader range of knowledge dissemination possibilities. To communicate new discoveries, advance understanding, novel concepts, and best practices for the advancement of education. The Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, proudly presents the second International Research Symposium on Management 2023.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to just give you kind of idea about another four major sponsors that we received to IRSM 2023. Actually, during this economic crisis, receiving kind of financial support is an immense support to the organizing committee of International Research Symposium of Management in 2023, especially since we are located far away from Colombo, we are just away from industry. So the presence of this industry people and the support you gave us is really appreciated. And I'm going to tell you another four sponsors. University Business Linkage Cell, actually, that is an internal body of sponsors that we received sponsorship. And then Colombo Stock Exchange, I really appreciate that organization for giving us such kind of financial support. And also, Sri Lanka SLT Mobitel Private Limited, they gave us both financial and media support. And also, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, CIPM, they've also supported us and joined with IRSM 2023. Then, ladies and gentlemen, now we have plenary speech as per the agenda. She is Miss Sangita Menon. So she joined us through online. She is the regional publishing manager, Emerald Publishing India. Actually, the presence of Ms. Sangita Menon is a really blessing to the symposium since she comes from international context. Now, I would like to hand over the symposium to Ms. Sangita Menon to share her thoughts and insightful words to the audience of IRSM 2023.
Good morning. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, madam, we can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Ayubhavan, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and esteemed participants. It is an honor and pleasure to be a part of the second International Research Symposium on Management, where we are delving into a very crucial topic that is reshaping the landscape of business in our digital age, which is the role of digital transformation in business sustainability. In a world where change is the only constant, businesses that embrace digital transformation are not only surviving, but thriving. So today I wanted to emphasize the paramount importance of research in navigating this transformative journey and ensuring the sustainability of businesses. Now, digital transformation is not merely a buzzword, it is a profound shift in the way businesses operate, engage with customers, and manage their internal processes. From cloud computing to artificial intelligence, the digital revolution has ushered an era of unprecedented opportunities and challenges, and businesses that fail to adapt risk obsolescence. While those who harness that power of digital tools find themselves on the path of sustainability. Now we understand why research in this area is so pivotal. But I wanted to add why it was important to discuss the same, before we talk more about publishing research itself. Now, as a publisher, I can confirm that it's never about the number of content pieces we need to publish, but rather what content we publish. And this is the challenge of all major publishers. So, if this goes beyond citations and downloads, it's about making a difference in the real world. I think somewhere in the process of the rush for publishing, our focus on publishing is so strong we sometimes forget what is the main purpose of research. And I think a big part of the challenge is changing the way research is uh, done, the way it is accepted, and those processes are currently, I'll say, a little flawed, and that is changing. So, one of the advantages we in South Asia have is that we are behind the West by 7 to 8 years in the way we adapt technology and the way we do things. So, we do have the insight of the direction in which we have to go. So, we are now talking about, like I said, making a difference in the real world with the research that we publish. And this is what within Emerald we call real impact. And by real impact, we mean adopting a problem solving approach to the grand challenges that affect people's everyday lives. It is our way to contribute to the development of the society and not just an industry. It goes much beyond that. Research, when we talk especially in the role of digital transformation and business sustainability, serves as a compass that guides organizations through the uncharted waters of digital transformation. It provides the insights needed to make informed decisions, mitigate risks, and capitalize on emerging opportunities. So, there are three key aspects of the symbiotic relationship between research and the role of digital transformation in business sustainability. So, firstly, research enables informed decision making. The digital landscape is vast, and navigating it requires a deep understanding of the technologies, trends, and market dynamics. Research equips businesses with the knowledge needed to make strategic decisions on technology adoption, investment priorities, and resource allocation. By staying informed, organizations can make decisions that align with the goals and position them for long term success. Secondly, research fuels innovation. Digital transformation is not about one size fits all process. It's all about finding unique solutions to specific challenges. Research in this direction allows businesses to stay ahead of the curve and develop cutting edge solutions. In the context of sustainability, innovation is not just about economic success, but also about creating environmentally and socially responsible practices. Thirdly, research is essential for continuous adaptation. The digital landscape is dynamic, and what works today may become obsolete tomorrow. So, research provides businesses with the tools to monitor industry trends, customer behaviors, and technological advancement. This continuous learning loop enables organizations to adapt the strategies, processes, and offerings in real time, ensuring that they remain relevant and resilient in the face of change. So, as we reflect on the importance of research in the context of digital transformation and business sustainability, let us also consider the ethical dimensions of this journey. Research should not only focus on the technological advancement, but also on the societal impact of these changes, which bring us back to the importance of keeping research impact in mind when we begin our research. Research impact is especially important when the goal is to publish, which is the case for most researchers. Knowing the impact of research is becoming an important criteria of selection of articles for publication. In fact, the research community is now moving away from the usual ways of determining impact, which was citations and downloads for so many years. I think it would be safe to say that everyone understands that neither citation or downloads are the true indicator of contribution or quality of research. These are often manipulative, and they are definitely not something that we should be focusing on when we are talking about good research. So, impact is what researchers need to address in the beginning of their research work when they're writing research, and not what they wait to learn after publication, which has been the case for so long. In fact, more and more publishers are now asking for impact statement at the time of submission. So the editor understands how the author envisions the changes that their research is bringing. And it also helps us as researchers to address that problem right on in the beginning before we spend our time and energy into research, which may not be contributing much. So it is the responsibility as business leaders, as researchers, to ensure that the research we devote a time addresses a larger purpose. So, in conclusion, the role of digital transformation in business sustainability is undeniable. However, its success hinges on the foundation of rigorous research. Research that empowers organizations to make informed decisions, fosters innovation, and facilitates continuous adaptation. I hope that the research that you all bring forth helps businesses and society overall to thrive in the digital era. With that, I wish you all a fantastic conference ahead, and thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sangeeta Menon, for that inspirational speech about business sustainability and resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have Professor Mohammed Nurul Nabi, Prince Sultan University, Saudi Arabia, who is a keynote speaker of IRSM 2023. Now, let me invite the editor-in-chief of IRSM 2023, Dr. Mrs. Sandhya Jasena, to introduce our keynote speaker to the audience. Thank you, Ms. Rasanjali. Next, we would like to welcome Professor Mohammed Nurul Nabi as keynote speaker of International Research Symposium on Management 2023. He holds the positions of the President of Research, ranking and international, and serve as a chair of Department of Accounting at Prince Sultan University in Saudi Arabia. Additionally, he is recognized as an academic visitor, senior member, University of Oxford in the United Kingdom. Professor Nurul academic qualifications include a PhD from the University of Edinburgh, alongside several professional designations. Certified Public Accountant, Chartered Management Accountant, Senior Fellow of the Higher Education Academy, UK, Academic Fellow of the Association International Accountant, Certified Management and Business Educator, and Fellow of Royal Society of Arts. Among his many outstanding scholarly contributions, he has published over 130 articles in international index journals. Further, he has recently published a book, The Role of the State and Accounting Transparency, Routledge Publications, widely remarkable in the field of accounting. Professor Nurul editorial role extends serving as editor-in-chief of PSU Research Review and series editor-in-chief of Contribution to International Accounting. He also contributed to the editorial board of over 20 academic journals and review for 98 international journals. Professor Nurul is as a Vice President Education of IMA Riyadh chapter in Saudi Arabia and a global advisor member of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee of the IMA USA. His contribution have been recognized with the Prince Sultan University President Distinct Research Award in 2020, the IMA Faculty Leadership Award in 2017, and the Platinum Level Leader Award by the IMA in 2009. His involvement in policy work with notable contribution to G20 Saudi Arabia and Think20 T20, as well as collaborations with the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development and International Federations of Accounting (IPAC) on the policy papers. He also regularly review of government regulation on SMEs in Saudi Arabia. Furthermore, Professor Nurul Nabi is one of the founding leaders of the Global SME Policy Network with his policy interests covering the global SMEs, tax, IFRs, and labor market issues. Now I would invite Professor Nurana to deliver the keynote speech. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Well, I wish I could be there, but some engagement with the COP28 and so on. I really apologize to all of you. I was not able to join. It's a beautiful country, so I missed two opportunities to meet all of you. Beautiful smiley face and a beautiful place as well. So hopefully we can meet sometime very soon in person. But I'm really honored and humbled and really grateful to the organizing committee to invite me. And thanks to the university higher management as well for organizing. This is a very timely discussion, timely topic, digital transformation, and so on for the business community. Well, my topic is a kind of how we can engage the business community and what we are doing, in terms of the sustainability and ESG and so on. And I think this is very important agenda for what I call the sustainable digital transformation. Let me share my screen. Uh, can you see? Is it? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. So what I would like to discuss about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, environmental, social, and governance regulation for the business, and I think the South Asian countries, in particular, they are also discussing how to integrate those into the business practices. And as an university, since we all are belong to university, we are academics. What are we doing, or are we doing enough in terms of our research, in terms of our curricula, to prepare our students regarding that? So that's the three areas I would like to highlight my presentation. So in terms of, thanks for the kind introduction about me. Like, I am the part of the Prince Sultan University as a professor, advisor to the president, and with Oxford, and also my affiliation with the Salerno in Italy, Murcia in Spain, and King Saud University in Saudi Arabia. And also I established the Oxford Impact Group, and I'm the global CEO on that. In addition, these are like, some of the highlights of what I'm doing. I don't call the research anymore. I call the impact study, or how we can do something to make solutions for the community and the society. Because I strongly agree with the colleague from the MRL. She said, like, the research has very dimensions now. We, as academic, we have a significant role for the society, but the unfortunately we are not able to uh, go through the role what we should do in terms of the research, because the citations is not the key impact measurement. How do you feel? It can be a very small research, but it could be impactful to make a small solution for your own community. This is what we call research. But now, like, you all know what I meant by the directions of research we are going through, the self-citations and this. So there are big challenges on that, and it is the role of the university, how they define and how they will promote the research could be categorized as impact study and so on. Because imagine if you're a policymaker, you will not go through the hundreds of pages of research. They will not care on that. So what are the policy solutions for the community or the country, for the economy and the society? They are looking into these issues. Well, this year, I became number one accounting professor by the Stanford top 2% in Saudi Arabia. And last week, I also became the top 7 in the world accounting professor. Uh, and I'm also leading the 3 think tanks, Global SME Policy Network, Global Education Policy Network, and Global Islamic Finance Tax and Zakat Center, where we are contributing for the policy side, for the local, the countrywide, the regional policymakers, and also the United Nations and UNCTAD and so on. And for the education side, we are coordinating with the UNESCO for, how we can do for the skills and so on for the futures. Because as you all know, 85 million jobs will go because of the uh, digital transformation, the artificial intelligence, and so on. So this is a big shocking news. What are we gonna do? So I was discussing with other colleagues with the United Nations a couple of weeks back in the conference. And at the same time, people don't say like 97 million jobs will be created. So there is a huge opportunity for all of us, and we need to get ready, upskilling, reskilling for ourselves and also for our students. So I think that there is a huge discussions needed, and the university need to be prepared on that. Anyway, I will go through some background of my topic in the sustainability, ESG, and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the curricula-wise, what we are doing, what we should do, and some kind of recommendations or discussions. I would welcome many questions from you because, this is a very big topic. It's like Atlantic Ocean, but I'll try to, concise over the next couple of 10, 15 minutes. So in terms of background, as you all know, the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and what the scientists are saying, we need a 50% reduction in greenhouse gas by 2030. And some of the numbers are very much alarming for all of us. They're saying 821 million people, 1 in 9, still go to bed on an empty stomach this night. And the total amount of food lost or waste globally, 1.2 trillion US dollar equivalent. And over 3 billion lives are at risk. 80% of the planet population have already been impacted. There's an article in the World Economic Forum. They're saying, are we about to throw away $25 trillion in waste? At the same time, this year, from the World Food Program, WFP, they're saying 379 million people are in food hunger. And most of the countries in Africa, 24 countries in the African region, they are in severe risk on the food hunger. For example, if every garbage truck we filled annually was placed into it, it would cover half of the distance to the moon. This is what we are doing. And 2.12 billion tons of waste globally is here. So why this is very important for our business segment and for our university as well. So as you know, the whole objective of Sustainable Development Goals came at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. And why this SDG? Before SDG, it was Sustainable Development Goals. It was Millennium Development Goals. And the key challenge of Millennium Development Goals, they are not able to address some of the gaps in particular the inequality faced in the middle income countries, and lack of focus on the environmental issues. You might say why they use the MDG and now SDG, and after 2030, what G will come, we don't know. But what we know, what we are doing is not enough for our society, the business, and the university side as well. Are we doing enough in terms of our curricula, in terms of our commitment for the society and community? So these are the key questions to all of us. And the 2030 agenda, as you know, it is 193 countries have committed for these 17 UN Sustainability Development Goals, and three key main pillars here: economy, society, and environment. Well, in Saudi Arabia, you know, the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, the Prime Minister, he said the climate action will enhance competitiveness, spark innovation, and create millions of high quality jobs. Young people, both in the kingdom and the world, are demanding a cleaner, greener, and more inclusive future. And we owe it to them to deliver on this. What it means, because mostly we feel okay, the climate, sustainability, these are costly for the environment, right? But as I told you, the new jobs will be created globally. All the sustainability skills, the climate skills, and so on. So there is a huge opportunity in the market, and we call the clean tech. So all the artificial intelligence and the high techs are coming, and the green techs are there. So at the same time, it will create millions of jobs. And one of the key area, like I think the demographic analysis uh, globally, around 60% of the youth population by 2030. So it means now in Saudi, for example, we have 51% of our population, the age between 15 to 24. And globally, the population, the young population will increase significantly by 2030. So we need to see the skills related to the youth people and so on. Well, the Ban Ki-moon, the former Secretary General of the United Nations, he mentioned sustainable development is the pathway to the future we want for all. And of course, this is what I call is not only the pathway, it's like a Google map for all of us. So what we are doing at Prince Sultan University, and I'm the director for Center for Sustainability and Climate. We are strongly committed on that because it is part of the global agenda. It is part of the country's vision, what we call the Saudi Vision 2030. We have the Saudi Green Initiative. A couple of weeks back, the minister announced the Saudi Green Initiative. Around $186 billion will be invested for the jobs in the market. And of course, part of the commitment of the COP climate conference. And Saudi Vision 2030, as you all know, the Vision 2030 is a blueprint for our economic and social transformation here. And three main pillars here: a vibrant society, a thriving economy, and an ambitious nation. And the sustainability is the key component of the Vision 2030 in Saudi Arabia. And part of our commitment of Prince Sultan University, we are producing our SDG integration of all the 17 SDGs every year. So if you can click or if you can go to the CSC, PSU, you can see our strong commitment on the sustainable development goals and so on. And one of the key statistics, over 60% of our research, our collaborative authors are low and middle income countries. So our university's direction, we would like to collaborate, contribute to the inclusive world where the low and middle income countries, they have low opportunities or less opportunity to collaborate with the high income countries. So this is some of the SDG rank of the Gulf countries, the six Gulf countries. So In Oman, they are ranked 81, especially in quality education, they're increasing. The United Arab Emirates, 85 out of 163, they are improving significantly. And as you all know, this year COP28 will be in Abu Dhabi. And then the Bahrain in the Qatar in 94, Saudi Arabia 96, and especially improving on clean water, sanitation, industry innovation, and infrastructure. Because as you all know, from 2016, the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, he focused on knowledge-based economy, and over 30% of our GDP now non-oil contribution. So that's why the SDG 6 and 9 are significantly improving here. In Kuwait, 100 and on, uh, and Kuwait is the only country, they don't have the vision for uh, the net zero target. In Bahrain is 102 out of 163 countries recently. So in Saudi Arabia, part of the Vision 2030, in G20, they announced carbon circular economy approach and what we call the 4R: reduce, reuse, recycle, and remove. And the government side, the private sector, they're taking it seriously how the country can achieve net zero carbon by 2060. And part of this initiative, we are also contributing. We are the first carbon neutral certified university in the MENA region, and we are emissioning around 5,000 tons of carbon. And we are the only university recognized as a case study by the government to the United Nations this year. We call the Voluntary National Review. And we are strongly linked with the United Nations for contributing this SDG agenda. So this is the sustainability roadmap for Saudi Arabia starting on 2016 and aiming to achieve the net zero by 2060. So part of the sustainability reporting in business aspect, as you know, the 70% of the global GDP mandating some form of reporting requirements on sustainability and so on. So 9 key countries mandating TCFD disclosure for companies, 2 countries mandating higher disclosures on sustainability, and especially, as you all know, the European Union, the Canada, the UK, the New Zealand, and to some extent the USA. They are committed, but there are some challenges between the political issues. When Donald Trump, during the Republican tenure, they are withdrawing a lot of funding from the COP and so on. And now Joe Biden is committed on the climate issues. So you might say, climate is very important, but at the same time, globally, it's could be a political agenda for some countries. But we all know, it's very important for our community and for our environment. So why ESG is important? Because we are from the number background, so we need some numbers. So in terms of numbers, there was a research from 29 years, 2013 to 2021, based on the 5,000 publicly listed companies in the world from the Bloomberg database. And what they found, they provided evidence of corporate managers to justify mobilizing more resources for ESG, and these firms, there is a positive and highly significant relationship with the firm value and the profit. So if the companies are providing the ESG reporting, at the same time, they're increasing their profit. Well, there is another study, the recent one from the New York University Stern Business School, and they also found, the ESG and positive financial performance. from 2016 to 2020. It is a kind of literature review based studies, and this study was based on 245 articles. In terms of Saudi case, what we are observing, the government has announced the ESG guidelines for the Saudi companies, and the investors are increasingly demanding the ESG regulation. So hopefully the regulation will come very soon, because the guideline introduced in 2021 during the COVID period. So the last element of my discussion. Okay, so we know the sustainable development goals are important. Are you doing enough research for the SDGs from our university perspective? ESG is very important. Are we doing enough for the ESG kind of research? And also, are we integrating into those elements into curricula? So this is significant questions for the higher education community. So in terms of the curricula, SDG 4, one of the objective ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. And what we call the sustainable development and global citizenship. So by 2030, ensuring all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development. And I think this is an opportunity for all the university to integrate the education for sustainable development. So, for example, if I'm from accounting, I need the skills on accounting and the sustainability and the climate issues. So, for example, we introduced a course, Sustainability Reporting and Practices, including the regulation for IFRS S1 and S2. So, if somebody from architecture, they need the skills on sustainability is on the architectural field. If somebody from engineers, they need the sustainability skills within their field. Some universities, they are misunderstanding globally. They feel, okay, we are doing SDG 1, 2, 3, 17, alas, ticking all the boxes, but what are the skills? Because it's not what you are doing, but are we preparing this youth community for the market as well? Because there is a significant demand on the sustainability skills globally. So these are the indicator for SDG, ensure quality of education for all. There are 10 targets: global citizenship education, education for sustainable development, national education policies need to be integrated, curricula, teachers, we need the training for the teachers as well. And there are some of the publication by the UNESCO, which could be helpful for all of you. Education for people and planet, accountability in education, and these 17 SDGs, they comprise into five P's: people, prosperity, planet, peace, and partnership. So all these 17 SDGs. And I strongly urge all the higher education sector to integrate their university strategic plan comprising these five P's. Well, the key question, we need the engagement. And I'm really honored, and one of my colleague, I'm a mentor for him as well, Dr. Roshan. So we really need the engagement. So what you are doing in Sri Lanka, what we are doing in Saudi Arabia, in India, or the UK, or the States, and so on. We really need to hear what others are doing, we collectively we can change something. We cannot do by alone. So, and as you know, since it's a business school, you might think about the principles for responsible management education, and the things you are doing this conference, your commitment on that. It would be good for your business school to be part of the PRME and so on. For example, still in the Middle East aspect, only few universities part of the PRME. Egypt, 6 universities, business school. the United Arab Emirates around 14, Saudi Arabia we have 5, we need to do more on that. Qatar only 1 university, Lebanon 5, Kuwait 2, Jordan 1. So out of the 6 Gulf countries, only Saudi, Qatar and UAE. So Kuwait, sorry, the Oman and Bahrain are not there. So this is an significant, So the whole model could be like teaching, research, extension of social projection, leadership strategy. So these are the key elements of the PRMA principles for responsible management education and it could be from the business school level, from the department level, and of course, as an individual academic, our commitment on that and how I integrate those things into my own course or the curricula. And you can create the dashboard as well. This is one of the university from the UK, and they are also reporting, which is very important. Like what we are achieving, what are the challenges we are facing, and we can share the data and so on with the global SDG Accord or some other platforms. Maybe you can also think about the carbon literacy skills for all throughout the university requirement. This is very important, skills for all the disciplines. And this is how, like, the framework, the employability, the enhanced CVs, interested from potential employees, leadership skills, and team organ skills, and so on. So recommendations and way forward, what I believe, I think all the universities, what they should do to increase, to integrate as a university learning outcomes, to integrate sustainability and climate competencies in the curricula in order to prepare students for career success in light of a rapidly changing the planet, right? It could be the curricula auditing, best practices, and mapping the existing curricula with the benchmarking and introduce the new courses within their discipline. Well, thank you all very, very much. I apologize to taking some time, but what I strongly believe, together we can change something and we can make a better planet. Thank you all very much, and I'm happy if you have any questions, comments, reflections. I would like to address those. Thank you.
Thank you immensely, Professor Nuremidi. Now we are truly honored to welcome Professor Dr. Christian M. Ringen as the keynote speaker of the second International Research Symposium on Management 2023. He is one of the co-founder and co-developer of the Smart PLS, a Java-based software package for compressor-based structural equation modeling using the partial list graph path modeling method. Professor Ringen is a renowned scholar and chairperson of the management and director of the Institute of Human Resource Management and Organizations at the Hamburg University of Technology, Germany. He completed his PhD in Business and Economics from the University of Hamburg and has held visiting research positions at the Georgia State University, United States, and Osaka University, Japan. Professor Ringen has also been a co-joint professor at the University of Technology, Sydney, and the University of Newcastle in Australia. Professor Ringen research diverse and cover the various fields, including human resource management, organization marketing, strategic management, and quantitative method for business and market research. He is a creative scholar and has published numerous articles in the reputed academic journals, including International Journal of Research and Marketing, Information System Research, Journal of Business Research, Journal of Late Research, Journal of Service Research, Journal of Academic of Marketing Science, Long Range Planning, Management Information System during last 8 years. He was recognized as 2023 the highly cited researcher in the field of management and research, recognized by federated analysis, whether placing it in the top 1% by the citations in the field of management. Apart from his research accomplishment, Professor Inger holds several significant positions, including Executive Director of Internal Affairs at the Hamburg University of Technology, a member of the Regional Board of the German Association University, a member of the Supervisory Board of the London Institute of the Technology Management, and editorial board member of the Journal of Business Research. Professor Singer is also a passionate teacher and offers online courses and doctoral seminars on multivariate analytics, particularly PLS structural equation model, and the use of statistical software such as Smart PLS, which has benefited numerous researchers in the enhancing their statistical skill and the methodology. Now I cordially invite Professor Inger to deliver the keynote speech. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this nice introduction, and I'm happy to join you online, and I would like to share my slides here right away. So let's see. You should be able to see my screen now, and first of all, it's my pleasure and honor to join you with a keynote address at the Second International Research Symposium on Management. Dr. Veratunga approached me and asked me to give a short address, about 50 minutes, and I hope to stay on time, not to stretch your schedule a little bit further. And my focus in this keynote address will be on research and methodological research in management and some of the latest challenges that we are facing. So the typical approach when we look at a research project is that we discover a problem, and we certainly aim to solve this problem. Then we theorize the result and think we have the problem solved, but the actual result usually is that the problem is more complex than we originally thought. And the problem still stays on, and we continue doing our things. And there is in methods research a couple of nice elements that propose to offer a solution to this issue. And these are the keywords like deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data, AI, and so on. And these methods seem to propose a quick solution to dealing with a research problem that originally appeared to be more complex than originally expected. However, when we take a look at these topics, we definitely have a problem. Of course, to some extent, we're dealing with, I would say, kind of buzzwords. Of course, when we talk about machine learning, it is to some extent also the introduction of multivariate analysis methods into the information systems area and trying to combine them. But without methodological sound foundations, a lot what is done in machine learning is not of much value. Of course, data are thrown in algorithms, but these methods and algorithms, they have certain requirements, especially for the data and for the results interpretation. And if you don't meet these requirements, the results are not worth anything. And here we recently have seen a lot of strange things, taking a sequence of algorithms and putting data into like a machine, getting results and trying to get the best result possible. However, if you run a factor analysis on dummy variables, that tells you already that this is not a good idea. And even you get a result using factor analysis as a machine learning method, and then combining those factor scores later on a regression analysis, you always get results, but they are not sensible at all. Also, what I recognized is with submitted publications that deal with machine learning and artificial intelligence. For instance, in the Journal of Business Research, I find that they have a high desk reject rate. And the reason for this high desk reject rate is that these papers are theoretically and methodologically not well prepared. So machine learning is not a solution in itself. You still need strong theoretical foundations. And when you use machine learning techniques as a tool to solve a problem or to provide a solution, then you need to decide why you're using which method for which reason, and why the methods that you selected are advantages compared to other alternatives. So there's a lot of work, but what you oftentimes see is there's a problem, we got data, we applied machine learning techniques, this is the result. That's nice. I would take this as a bachelor thesis or master thesis projects. So that is what my students do on this level. But this is definitely not something we would expect for a journal publication, because this is a singular problem-solving approach. And the generalizability of the results is definitely in question. So what we need, again, are strong theoretical foundations and the answer, why are the selected methods the best in comparison to the alternatives? And is the solution that we present, can it be applied on other problems? Then this can become a really good research paper. Otherwise, it's just a singular applied problem-solving piece, which has not much scientific value usually. So what to do now? And sometimes it's good, even when we take a look in the world of big data, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, and when we come to a research approach, to go back to the very principles on how we like to do research. And the starting point is always an interesting and relevant research question. So it needs to be relevant from different perspectives, and that is always the starting point. We also have in our discussions, can this research make a change? Is it valuable to solve certain problems that we identified? Is it an important research gap that we are addressing? And does our solution contribute substantially to closing this research gap? And this is always the starting point. And then usually researchers start on the theoretical grounds and create a model and some hypothesis. And in this deductive approach, then they use empirical data to substantiate their theoretical considerations. So that is confirmatory research. But you could also do it the other way around. You could start with the data and something interesting that you find in the data. And in the inductive research approach, you would come from the observations in business practice and in the data and try to further generalize it by theoretical implications and creating a theoretical model. So once you came from the empirical perspective and what is happening in business practice and created your more theoretical model, then you could go via the deduction again and use empirical data to support your theoretical assumptions. But no matter where you start, if you start with a deductive or an inductive research approach, in the end, the key question is, have you been capable to develop a theoretical model that is generalizable, not only solving on a single problem, but presents a solution in general ways, for instance, in management. And then the results should be meaningful, relevant, and provide implications and strong contributions in research. So this is the classical approach, and in the heart are the methods, the data, and the findings. And as a methodological researcher, I always go this kind of approach from theory via method, data, findings, and empirical substantiation of my outcomes. And this is something that is definitely also required in the age of AI, machine learning, and so forth. So what is another aspect that is interesting, especially talking to researchers who are in the management area and in the social sciences? And here is an interesting change that we are seeing. And this interesting change that you're seeing is the combination of explanatory modeling and theory testing with predictive modeling and prediction. And this change is important because what we usually do or did as social scientists was exactly in this process that I previously described. We started on the theoretical grounds, created our model, had some hypothesis, and then the only question we ask is, are the relationships are significant to support our theory, or is there a good model fit? And that is explanatory and confirming our theoretical model. This is definitely good, but there's one problem. And the problem is the sole orientation on confirmation in the social sciences in the past. And the reason why this is interesting or could be a problem, or to put it more positive, represents an opportunity for social scientists, is that a good fitting model with significant relationships is not necessarily a good predictive model. And here's a nice quote I put from Hofmann in his science article. This quote is that we argue that the increasingly computational nature of social science is beginning to reverse this traditional bias against prediction. And again, a good fitting model having significant relationships. To be clear, everything that we test with data is at some point significant. We just need to collect enough data. If we have more and more data, even the smallest relationship will become significant. Hence, having a good fitting model does not necessarily mean that we have a good predictive model. But why is this important? When we look at the natural sciences argue that a good model is a good predictive model. And when we think about this, this is in the discussion part of our papers. Here, we look at our results, and based on our theory, on our findings and conclusions, we provide managerial recommendations. However, these managerial recommendations are predictive in nature. And for this reason, it would be reasonable and mandatory to, at some point, test the predictive relevance of the model. And for this reason, I definitely expect that predictive power and predictive model validation becomes much more important in the social sciences in order to substantiate our managerial recommendations based on our theoretical model, empirical analysis, findings, and conclusions. So this is one of the big changes that are currently happening, but we are certainly facing additional important topics. So when we look at past research, we are in the replication crisis. That means many research projects theorized the model, collect the data, run the analysis, published it. But there are doubts that these results will be replicable. And without having replicable results, well, this research approach is not really reliable. And in order to address this replication crisis, we need to much more replicate research, and therefore data must be available. And what we do with our PhD students and in my own research, we start to make all our data open access. So all data must be made available to all researchers, and journals more and more require this. And this is even an opportunity. There are journals like Data and Brief, and once you collected and obtained really good data, so why not making an additional publication out of this by publishing just your data set in a standardized format in Data and Brief and making them public. So this will be an absolute standard. It is mostly at my university in working with my PhD students. Data must be available for everyone so that all researchers in the world can rerun your analysis and based on your model and results, continue working on your research and expanding it. Or these could be the grounds for replicating studies with new data. Another one is p-hacking and study pre-registration. P-hacking is highly discussed these days. And what we are looking at is the issue that when researchers theorized their model, they so strongly long to find that a certain relationship is significant, and then they manipulate the data as long as it becomes significant in the end. This is certainly not good research practice, but it is known to happen. And in order to avoid this to happen and to avoid that bad research is getting published and trying to provide the imagination that there is something where is nothing, we need study pre-registration. This started a long time ago and is also part in my research team. So all PhD students have to pre-register their studies and to explain what they expect and how everything has been built up before they go into the phase of the empirical analysis and provide the actual results. And the pre-registration, for example, the platform of the Open Science Framework allows you to pre-register your research and where you can describe what you're doing, what you expect. And later on, it is transparent to everyone where you started and which results you finally had. And it's okay to say that something was not significant in the end and to discuss this question, but it's not okay to manipulate the data so that a certain theoretically established relationship becomes significant even though it is not significant. Finally, plagiarism and academic misconduct in the age of generative AI and large language models. So this is a big issue that becomes more and more relevant. I mean, plagiarism was always relevant, but having the tools at hands makes it much more difficult. And plagiarism is not simply copy and paste anymore. It's using technical tools to write up texts, and this is definitely also not good research practice. And what we need to start is a discussion how we can use AI and tools like ChatGPT in research. And here Elsevier, as a publisher, provided pretty good guidelines and orientations on how to help this. And to be clear, once you have a text and you wrote a text and you ask ChatGPT revise this text, that's okay, but you have to mention it in your submission. But what is not okay is to ask ChatGPT write this text for me. I have this topic, I want to write a research article, please produce text for me. This is plagiarism, this is not okay, and the tools become stronger and stronger. And when they are capable to also find which texts have been generated by generative AI and LLMs, this will be right away a retraction. And researchers won't get away with this bad practice as technology becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. It will be super easy to identify who did plagiarism in the past and who did this not. And identifying research that used ChatGPT to write their text, that will definitely be a retraction in the future. So this is something we need to be very clear and very careful about, and to only use these powerful tools in very small doses, especially since such tools like ChatGPT, they're hallucinating. They write stuff up they don't know. And therefore, it is also very easy to identify which text was is subject to plagiarism. So this was just a quick view on some of the topics in methods when it comes to management research and recent developments that are important and represent important changes in our research practice, how we are doing things. And this is definitely a continuous change in science. And from my perspective, it's good to be rather an early adopter than a late adopter, and clearly following the principles of making data available, doing pre-registrations, certainly not to use AI to write your text, and so on, and thereby to continue in international research teams to conduct successful research in the future. Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to have this couple of words, and I wish you a wonderful and successful conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Christian Bringle, for joining us, even though there's a huge time difference between Germany and Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the closure of today's inaugural ceremony of IRSM 2023, now I am deeply honored to invite Dr. Mrs. C.T. Gamage, Symposium Chair, to award the token of appreciation to the chief guest, Dr. Janaka Pushpakumara, the Acting Vice Chancellor of the Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, and the esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. Nuwan Gunratna. Thank you very much, dear sir and madam. Ladies and gentlemen, IRSM 2023 has five main sponsors. Now I am honored to invite Professor Bandula Jatalaka, the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies, to award tokens of appreciations to following sponsors. Dr. Manoj Samatunga, Director of University Business Linkage Cell of Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. Mr. Salila Vikanage, Chartered Accountant, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. Mr. Sumiru Rajaguru, Executive Officer, representing CSC Education Academy for the sponsorship provided by Colombo Stock Exchange. Mr. Sumiru Rajaguru, Executive Officer of CSC. Thank you very much, dear sir and madam. Yes, on behalf of Dr. Manoj Samaratunga, the Director of University Business Linkage Cell, I'm going to invite Mr. WWAN Sujiva, the Head of the Department of Human Resource Management, to acknowledge the appreciation, token of appreciation. Thank you very much, dear sir. Finally, it's my privilege to invite Symposium Co-Chair Dr. Pradeep Viratunga on a stage to award tokens of appreciations to Mr. Amala Pereira, District Manager, SLT Mobitel Private Limited, Anuradhapura. Mr. Dinushka Kularatna, Assistant Manager, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Kurunagala Branch, Sri Lanka. Thank you very much, sir. Now we have Mrs. Mihira Vikramasinghe, the Symposium Co-Secretary, to propose the vote of thanks, representing the entire organizing committee of Second International Research Symposium on Management 2023. Now I would like to call upon Mrs. Mihira Vikramasinghe on a stage.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and valued participants. Here I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude and a sense of accomplishment as we bring the curtain down on this enlightening academic event, Second International Research Symposium on Management 2023. As the secretary of this symposium, it is my great pleasure to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for joining us today and making this event a tremendous success with your valuable contribution and support. First and foremost, I would like to thank Professor Sanjeevani Gingadhar, Vice Chancellor of Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, for her unwavering support in making this symposium a reality. An active Vice Chancellor, Dr. Janaka Pushpavihara. Thank you very much, sir, for joining with us today, and we are honored to have you here. Next, our gratitude goes out to the esteemed speakers who shared their valuable insight and expertise with us. Dr. Nuwan Gunaratna, Professor Christine M. Ringle, Professor Mohammed Nur Rabi. We really appreciate the dedication and passion you brought to the event, inspiring all with your valuable contributions. Further, I must express our deep sense of appreciation Ms. Sangeeta Menon, Regional Publishing Manager, Emerald Publishing India, for the extended academic partnership. Next, I would like to acknowledge our academic, professional, and media partners. Emerald Publishing, Center for Sustainability and Climate, Princess Sultan University, Saudi Arabia, University Business Linkage, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Sri Lanka, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Sri Lanka, Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka, Colombo Stock Exchange, Associate of Chartered Certified Accountants, Sri Lanka Mobitel, Sunday Observer, TV Derana, and other Derana. Your contribution have been instrumental in making this symposium a success, and we are grateful for your continued support. Next, I wish to extend my appreciation to our Dean of the faculty, Professor Badula Jayantilaka, for extending all the relevant guidance and support with his ever-glowing dynamic leadership. Thank you very much, sir. Further, today we are glad to witness the participation of the deans of other faculties, the Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, Professor G.V.T.V. Veerasurya, the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanity, Professor Tusita Mendis, the Dean of the Faculty of Technology, Dr. Chaturanga Marachige, and all the chairs of research and publication committees of these faculties and directors of every center and unit in our university in this valuable event. I must thank all the head of the departments and all academic members of my faculty for their valuable contribution to this symposium. Thank you, sirs and madam. IRSM 2023 would have not been this resounding success without your guidance and continued support. And registrar, the bursar, and the librarian of the Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, and all non-academic staff members, including senior assistant registrar, assistant bursar of the faculty, for their support extended in numerous ways. Thank you very much. Last but not least, I would like to express our deep appreciation to IRSM team. First, I like to express my appreciation to our chair of the symposium, Dr. Mrs. Siti Gamage. Madam, thank you very much for your continuous support and encouragement. Your leadership and guidance have been instrumental in ensuring the success of this event. Next, co-chair of the symposium, Dr. Prageet Veeratunga. Sir, your expert guidance and insightful feedback have been invaluable in shaping the content and structure of this symposium. Your contribution have helped to ensure this symposium remain relevant and meaningful to researchers and scholars. Next, special editorial board chairperson, Dr. Mrs. Sandhya Kumari and her team. Dear Madam, we deeply grateful for your commitment and dedication to this symposium. And we acknowledge the countless hours you have invested in ensuring its success. Thank you, Madam. Next, most importantly, I would like to thank our advisory committee, track coordinators, organizing committee, and supportive students who have devoted many hours to organizing and carrying out this symposium. Your hard work and dedication have been integral to the success of this event, and we are deeply grateful for all that you have done. In this symposium, we have two secretaries, myself and Ms. Hirani Rattan, and four assistant secretaries who took the responsibility of completing all the background works. Thank you so much, and we did it. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to all the authors. After this inaugural ceremony, technical session will be commenced where authors can share their research findings. I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to all presenters, panel chairs, panel members, and rapporteurs for their contribution. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished guests and participants. Your presence here today have made this symposium truly international. Finally, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the family members of the organizing committee members to bear with us for late, long nights at work to make this symposium a success. I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone. In conclusion, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to all of you once again. Your participation, contribution, and support have made the Second International Research Symposium on Management 2023 a resounding success. Thank you, and we hope to see you again for future events. Ayubowan.
Thank you very much, dear madam, for that vote of thanks. Before the closure of the event, I have few announcements to be made on behalf of the organizing committee of IRSM 2023. Please gather in front of the auditorium for a group photo if possible. Both online and physical technical sessions have been started as of now, and you can join there. You can get direction from the organizing committee of IRSM 2023. Lunch will be served for organizing committee members, presenters, student volunteers at the lobby area of the Faculty of Management Studies, and for all the deans, sponsors, keynote speakers, and business forum speakers will be offered the lunch outside the university. And the most importantly, business forum will commence at 3 p.m. at this auditorium. So invite you all to join there as well. Then have a nice day.
स्ट्रीमिंग स्टॉप करो ना